I thought my marriage ended because of betrayal. I was wrong. It ended because I never really knew the person I loved. My name is David. I am 52 years old, and I spent 23 years married to a woman I thought I understood. Her name was Emily. This is the story of how our marriage ended, and why I still think about her every single day. It started on a Tuesday. I remember because Tuesdays were always quiet in our house. Emily worked from home on Tuesdays. I would leave for the office early. She would make coffee and sit by the window with her laptop. That was our routine, but that Tuesday when I came home, she was sitting at the kitchen table. No laptop, no coffee. Just her hands folded in front of her. She looked at me, and she said we needed to talk. I knew immediately. You know that feeling, when your stomach drops. Same when the air in the room changes. I knew something was about to break. I sat down across from her. I did not say anything. I just waited. She took a long breath, and then she said it. She said she was leaving. Not that she wanted to leave. Not that she was thinking about leaving. She said she was leaving. Past tense. Like the decision was already made, like I had no say in it. I stared at her. I did not understand. We had not been fighting. We had not been angry. We had just been living. Quietly, calmly, like we always did. I asked her why. She looked down at her hands, and she said there was someone else. I will never forget the way my chest felt in that moment. Like something heavy was pressing down on it. Like I could not breathe right. I asked her who. She shook her head. She said it did not matter. But it did matter. It mattered to me. I needed to know. I needed to picture the person. I needed to understand what he had that I did not. But she would not tell me. She just kept saying, it was not about him. It was about her. And I did not understand what that meant. I sat there trying to process it, trying to find the moment when things went wrong, trying to remember a fight, a sign, anything. But there was nothing, or maybe there was, and I just had not been looking. Emily and I met when we were young. I was 26, she was 24. We met at a bookstore. She was looking for a book on architecture. I worked in construction management. We started talking. She was smart, calm. She had this way of listening that made you feel important. I asked her out. She said yes. We dated for 2 years, got married, bought a house, had no kids. We talked about it once or twice, but neither of us pushed for it. We just kept saying maybe later. And then later never came, but it did not bother us. At least I did not think it did. We had a good life. We had routines. We had dinners together. We had weekend trips. We had friends. We had everything people are supposed to want. But somewhere along the way, we stopped talking. Not about the small things. We still talked about groceries, about bills, about what to watch on TV. But we stopped talking about the big things, about what we wanted, about what scared us, about who we were becoming. I did not notice it happening. It was so slow, like watching paint dry. You do not see it change. You just wake up one day and realize it is a different color. That is what happened to us. We woke up one day and we were strangers. But I did not realize it until she told me she was leaving. I asked her if we could try counseling. She said no. I asked her if we could take some time apart and think about it. She said she had already been thinking about it for months, maybe years. I felt like an idiot, like I had been living in a house that was falling apart and I had not even noticed the cracks. She stood up from the table. She said she was going to stay with a friend for a few days, and then she would come back to get her things. I just sat there. I did not try to stop her. I did not know what to say. She walked out the door, and I listened to her car pull out of the driveway, and then the house was silent. I had never felt silence like that before. It was heavy. It filled every corner. It made my ears ring. I sat at that table for hours. I did not move. I did not cry. I just sat there trying to understand. The next few days were strange. I went to work. I came home. I made food I did not eat. I slept on the couch because the bed felt too big. I kept thinking about the someone else. I kept trying to picture him. Was he younger? Was he richer? Was he funnier? Was he everything I was not? I checked her social media. I looked through her photos. I searched for clues, but there was nothing. No new faces, no comments from strangers. Just pictures of coffee, of sunsets, of books. The same things she always posted. I called her twice. She did not answer. I texted her once. She replied with one sentence. She said she needed space, so I gave it to her. A week passed, then two. I started to lose hope. I started to accept that it was over. And then one evening, she called me. She asked if she could come over. She said she wanted to explain. I said yes. She came over that night. She looked different, lighter somehow, like a weight had been lifted off her shoulders. We sat in the living room. She sat on the chair. I sat on the couch. She took a deep breath, and then she started talking. She said she had been lying to me, not just recently, but for a long time. She said she had been lying to herself, too. I did not understand. She said there was someone else, but it was not what I thought. I waited. She said it was not a man. I felt confused. She said it was a woman, and even then, I did not fully understand. She said the woman's name was Anna. They had met at a yoga class. They became friends, and then something shifted. She said she did not plan it. She said she did not even understand it at first. But she started feeling things she had never felt before, not even with me. She said she tried to ignore it. She tried to push it away, but it kept coming back. And eventually she could not ignore it anymore. She said she realized something about herself, something she had been running from her whole life. She said she was not straight. She said she never had been. She just did not know it, or maybe she did know it. But she buried it so deep that she convinced herself it was not true. I sat there listening. I did not know what to say. I felt angry, but not at her, at the situation, at the fact that I could not fix it, at the fact that there was no villain, no one to blame, just two people who loved each other but could not be what the other needed. I asked her why she married me. She looked at me with tears in her eyes. She said she loved me. She said she still loved me, but not in the way a wife should love a husband. She said she thought love was enough. She thought if she just committed to me, the rest would follow. But it did not. She said she felt like she was pretending every single day, and it was exhausting. She said she was sorry. She said she never wanted to hurt me, but she could not keep pretending. Not anymore. I asked her when she knew. She said she did not know. Maybe always, maybe never, maybe somewhere in between. She said there were signs when she was younger, feelings she had for girls in high school, thoughts she pushed away, crushes she told herself were just admiration. She said she grew up in a house where being different was not an option. Her parents were traditional, religious. They had expectations, sane, and she met every single one. She went to college, she got a good job, she married a good man, she did everything right. But she was never happy, not really. She said she thought something was wrong with her. She thought she was broken. She went to therapy once, years ago. She never told me. She said she talked to the therapist about feeling disconnected, about feeling like she was watching her own life from the outside. The therapist asked her questions, questions she was not ready to answer. So she stopped going. She said she spent years trying to fix herself, trying to be the person everyone expected her to be. But it did not work. And when she met Anna, everything clicked. She said it was not about sex. It was about finally feeling seen, finally feeling like she could breathe. She said Anna did not pressure her. Anna did not ask her to leave me. Anna just existed. And that was enough to make Emily realize she could not keep living a lie. I asked her if she loved Anna. She nodded. She said yes. But she also said she loved me, just differently. She said I was her best friend, her partner, her safety. But she was not in love with me. She never had been. And hearing that hurt more than anything else, because I had been in love with her, deeply, completely. And knowing that she had never felt the same way made me question everything. Every moment we shared, every laugh, every trip, every quiet morning. Was any of it real? Or was she just going through the motions? I asked her that. She looked at me and said it was real. All of it. She said just because she was not in love with me did not mean she did not care. She said I gave her stability, comfort, a life she could be proud of. But it was not the life she wanted. Not anymore. I did not know how to respond. Part of me wanted to be angry, to yell, to tell her she wasted 23 years of my life. But I could not, because I saw the pain in her eyes. I saw how much it cost her to tell me the truth, and I realized that she had been suffering too, just in a different way. She asked me if I hated her. I said no, and I meant it. I did not hate her. I was sad, I was confused, I was heartbroken, but I did not hate her. She cried. I cried. We sat there in that living room and we cried together, and then she left. She said she would come back in a few days to get her things, and she did. She packed up her clothes, her books, her small pieces of furniture. I helped her carry boxes to her car. We did not talk much. There was nothing left to say. When she was done, she stood in the doorway. She looked at me one last time. She said thank you. I did not know what she was thanking me for. Maybe for not making it harder. Maybe for letting her go. Maybe for loving her even when she could not love me back. I nodded. She walked out, and that was the last time I saw her. The months after Emily left were the hardest of my life. I kept replaying everything in my head, every conversation, every moment. I kept looking for the signs I missed, and I found them, so many of them. The way she never initiated intimacy, the way she seemed distant even when we were together, the way she flinched sometimes when I kissed her. Small things, tiny things. Things I told myself did not matter, but they did matter. They mattered so much. I realized I had been living with a stranger, not because she was hiding who she was, but because I never asked. I never asked her what she wanted, what she needed, who she really was. I just assumed. I assumed that because we were married, we were happy. I assumed that because she did not complain, everything was fine. I assumed that love was enough. But love is not enough. Not when one person is pretending. Not when one person is hiding. I thought about calling her. I thought about asking her to meet me, to talk, to try to understand. But I did not. Because what would I say? What could I say that would change anything? She had found herself, and in doing so, she lost me. Or maybe I lost her. Or maybe we were never really together in the first place. I started going to therapy. I needed to talk to someone. I needed to process what happened. My therapist asked me a lot of questions, questions I did not want to answer. She asked me if I was angry. I said no. She asked me if I felt betrayed. I said yes, but not in the way you would think. I felt betrayed by time, by the years we spent together building a life that was never going to last. She asked me if I still loved Emily. I said yes, but I did not know what that love meant anymore. She asked me what I learned. I said I learned that you can love someone and still not know them. You can share a bed with someone for 23 years and still be strangers. You can build a life with someone and still be building it on a foundation that was never solid. I learned that people are complicated, that identity is complicated, that love is complicated. I learned that sometimes there is no villain. No, sometimes there is just pain and loss and truth. I learned that Emily was brave, braver than I ever was. She faced the scariest thing a person can face. She faced herself, and she chose to live honestly, even if it meant losing everything, even if it meant hurting me. I do not think I could have done that. I think I would have kept pretending. I think I would have kept living the lie. Because it is easier. It is safer. But Emily did not choose easy. She chose truth, and I respect her for that. Even though it destroyed me, I heard from a mutual friend that Emily and Anna are still together. They live in another city now. They are happy. I am glad. I mean that. I am glad she found what she was looking for. I am glad she is living her truth, even if that truth did not include me. I have not moved on, not really. I have been on a few dates, yeah, but nothing stuck, because I'm still carrying Emily with me. Not in a bitter way, not in an angry way, just in a sad way. I think about her sometimes. I wonder if she thinks about me. I wonder if she regrets marrying me. I wonder if she wishes she had figured herself out sooner. I wonder if she feels guilty. I hope she does not. Because it was not her fault. It was not my fault either. It was just life. Messy, complicated, unfair. I have learned to live with the silence now. The house does not feel as empty as it used to. I have routines again. I wake up, I go to work, I come home, I make dinner, I watch TV, I go to bed. It is a quiet life, but it is mine. And maybe that is enough. I do not know if I will ever fully understand what happened. I do not know if Emily fully understands either, but I have accepted it. I have accepted that some questions do not have answers. Some pain does not have a cure. Some love does not have a happy ending. I loved Emily. I still do. But I have let her go. Not because I wanted to, but because holding on was killing me. I have learned that love is not ownership. Love is not control. Love is letting someone be who they are, even if that means they cannot be with you. I think about the life we could have had if she had known sooner, if she had been honest sooner. Maybe we could have been friends. Maybe we could have skipped the marriage and the pain and just been two people who cared about each other. But we did not get that option. We got 23 years of pretending, and now we get the rest of our lives apart. I do not blame her. I do not blame myself. I just blame the world. For making it so hard to be different, for making it so scary to be honest, for making people like Emily feel like they have to hide. Because if she had felt safe enough to be herself from the beginning, none of this would have happened. She would have lived her truth. I would have found someone who could love me the way I deserved, and we both would have been happier. But that is not the world we live in. So, here we are. Two people who loved each other and lost each other and have to find a way to keep going. I am still trying to figure out how to do that. Some days are easier than others. Some days I wake up and I feel okay. Other days I wake up and I feel the weight of it all. The loss, the loneliness, the realization that the life I thought I had was never real. But I keep going. Because that is what you do. You keep going. You put one foot in front of the other, you breathe, you live, even when it hurts. I think Emily taught me that. She taught me that it is okay to start over. It is okay to admit that the life you are living is not the one you want. It is okay to choose yourself, even if it means hurting someone you love. I do not know what my future looks like. I do not know if I will fall in love again. I do not know if I will ever stop thinking about her. But I know I will survive this. Because I have to. Because there is no other option. Emily is gone, our marriage is over, and I am still here, trying to make sense of it all, trying to find meaning in the pain, trying to forgive her, trying to forgive myself, and maybe one day I will. Maybe one day I will look back on this and feel something other than sadness. Maybe I will feel gratitude for the years we had, for the lessons I learned, for the person I am becoming because of it. But today is not that day. Today, I am still grieving, still processing, still trying to understand how you can love someone so much and still lose them. I thought my marriage ended because of betrayal, but I was wrong. It ended because I never really knew the person I loved. And that is something I will carry with me for the rest of my life. Not as a regret, but as a reminder that people are more than what we see, that everyone is fighting a battle we know nothing about, that love is not always enough, and that sometimes the kindest thing you can do is let someone go. So that is what I did. I let Emily go. I let her live her truth. And I am trying to find mine. I do not know if I will ever fully heal, but I am trying. And maybe that is all any of us can do. Try, keep trying, even when it feels impossible, even when it feels like the pain will never end. We keep trying, because that is what it means to be human. To love, to lose, to hurt, to heal, and to keep going, no matter what. Emily left me for someone I never expected. She left me for herself, and I cannot be angry about that, because we all deserve to be ourselves, even if it means breaking someone else's heart. I hope she is happy. I hope she is free. I hope she never has to pretend again. And I hope that one day I find the same peace she found, not with someone else, but with myself. That is my hope. That is my goal. To learn to be okay alone, to learn to be enough for myself, to learn that my worth is not tied to someone else's love. It is a hard lesson, but it is one I need to learn. So I am learning, slowly, painfully. But I am learning, and maybe that is enough. For now, watch the next story.